The outcast's chance. The storm was beautiful in its fury. Sarah Chen stood at her observation post atop Mount Weather Station, watching lightning dance between clouds that shouldn't have been behaving this way. Her colleagues had dismissed her theories about artificial atmospheric manipulation as crackpot science, but she knew what she was seeing. Natural storms didn't move like this. Her instruments confirmed what her eyes told her. The electrical patterns were too regular, too controlled. She'd stake her career on it. What little was left of it, anyway. Still chasing ghost patterns, Dr. Chen. Sarah didn't need to turn to recognize Dr. Harrison's condescending tone. The station director had made his opinion of her research clear enough over the past year. "The data doesn't lie, sir," she said, keeping her eyes on her monitors. "These electromagnetic fluctuations match exactly what my models predicted for artificially induced weather patterns." "Models based on pure speculation," Harrison sighed. "Sarah, you're a brilliant meteorologist, but this obsession with phantom energy signatures and artificial weather control, it's destroying your credibility. The board meets next week to review your position here." Sarah's hands clenched on her desk, but she kept her voice steady. "I understand, sir." She waited until his footsteps faded before letting out a shaky breath. 10 years of research, countless nights analyzing data patterns, building theoretical models, all of it about to be dismissed because she couldn't prove what she knew in her bones to be true. The storm intensified, lightning now striking in precise geometric patterns that made her instruments scream with activity. Sarah frantically recorded the data, knowing no one would believe her even with clear evidence. Something was happening in Earth's atmosphere, something beyond current human understanding, and she seemed to be the only one who could see it. The first anomaly appeared at 2:47 a.m. A distortion in the cloud layer, like reality itself was being stretched thin. Sarah's instruments registered energy readings that should have been impossible. She started the recording equipment, heart pounding. At 3:12 a.m., the sky tore open. The object that emerged was moving too fast for her tracking systems to lock onto. It carved a burning path through the storm, trailing what looked like crystalline fragments that sparked and faded in the night air. Sarah watched in awe as it screamed overhead, her years of theoretical research suddenly, dramatically validated. Then she saw its trajectory and her blood ran cold. At that angle and velocity, it would impact less than 2 miles from the station. Sarah was moving before she could second-guess herself. She grabbed her emergency pack and weather gear, nearly forgetting her portable atmospheric analyzer in her haste. By the time she reached her rugged all-terrain vehicle, the object's impact had painted the horizon in ethereal blue fire. The storm grew stranger as she approached the crash site. Lightning struck in concentric circles around the impact zone, and her instruments detected energy patterns that defied known physics. The air itself felt charged, making her skin tingle and her hair stand on end. She found the crash site in a small valley, hidden from the main road by dense forest. The object, clearly some kind of vessel now that she could see it properly, had carved a deep groove into the earth before coming to rest against a hillside. It was unlike anything she'd ever seen, its hull seeming to shift between solid and energy state, covered in crystalline growths that pulsed with inner light. Sarah approached cautiously, her analyzer giving readings that made absolutely no sense. The air around the vessel rippled like a heat mirage, but her instruments showed the temperature dropping, not rising. Something was manipulating the atmospheric energy in ways that should have been impossible. A section of the hull suddenly became transparent, revealing a cockpit-like chamber within. Sarah gasped. Floating inside was a being that seemed to be made of pure energy and crystal, its form flickering and unstable. As she watched, parts of its body began to fade, dissolving into the air like smoke. The being's eyes opened, or at least, what Sarah interpreted as eyes, and locked onto her. A voice echoed in her mind, more impression than sound. *help. Containment. Failing *. Sarah's years of theoretical research clicked into place. The being wasn't just injured, it was losing cohesion, its energy form bleeding into the atmosphere. The strange weather patterns she'd been studying weren't weapons or experiments. They were distress calls. I think I understand, she said aloud, hoping the being could hear her. You need a stable containment field for your energy form. The atmospheric disturbances, you've been trying to create one, haven't you? Yes, but damage, too severe, cannot maintained, pattern asterisk. Sarah's mind raced. Her research into atmospheric energy manipulation might be considered fringe science on Earth, but right now it might be this being's only hope for survival. She pulled out her analyzer, reconfiguring it to generate a small-scale containment field based on her theoretical models. I'm going to try something, she said, fingers flying over the controls. I think I can help stabilize your form, but I've never done this before. It's only ever been theoretical. Asterisk trust, you. No choice asterisk. The being's form flickered dangerously, more of its energy dispersing into the air. Sarah activated her modified analyzer, praying her calculations were correct. A shimmering field of energy expanded from the device, enveloping the crystalline entity. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the dispersing energy began to coalesce, drawn back into a more stable form by the containment field. The being's crystal structure solidified, its light pulsing stronger and more regularly. Asterisk it works. Temporary, but works. Thank you, asterisk. Sarah let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. You're welcome. I'm Sarah Chen. Asterisk echo. I am called Echo asterisk. The being's mental voice was stronger now. Asterisk you understand energy manipulation. Unusual for your species asterisk. Actually, most people think I'm crazy for believing it's possible. Sarah couldn't help but laugh at the irony. I spent years studying atmospheric energy patterns that nobody else believed were real. Turns out I was right. They just weren't coming from where I thought they were. Asterisk not crazy. Perceptive. Different thing asterisk there was a pause. Asterisk others come. Hunters. Must hide asterisk. As if to emphasize Echo's warning, a new disturbance appeared in the storm-racked sky. Sarah's instruments detected energy signatures similar to what she'd recorded during Echo's arrival, but stronger. Multiple signals. My research station, Sarah said quickly. It's shielded for atmospheric research. The energy baffling might hide you from them. Can you move in that containment field? Asterisk yes. Quickly. Please asterisk. Sarah helped Echo transfer from the crashed vessel to her vehicle, the containment field humming steadily around the alien's crystalline form. As they drove back toward the station, Sarah's mind spun with questions. But one thing was already clear. Her life's work hadn't been a waste. It had been preparation. The storm raged on overhead, but now Sarah understood its true purpose. It wasn't just a weather pattern or a weapon. It was a message. A cry for help that only she had been able to hear. And somewhere up there, in the lightning-torn sky, hunters were searching for her new ally. The night was far from over. Legacy of the Stars, ### Part 2, Trust in the Impossible. The Mount Weather Station's basement laboratory had never been used for anything more exciting than calibrating atmospheric sensors. Now it housed an alien being made of crystal and energy, contained within a field generated by modified weather equipment. Sarah still couldn't quite believe it was real. Your containment field, Echo's thoughts resonated in Sarah's mind, uses principles similar to our stabilization technology. How did you discover this? Sarah adjusted the field parameters, watching Echo's crystalline form pulse with steady light. I noticed patterns in storm systems that didn't match natural phenomena. The energy distributions were too precise. I developed theories about manipulating atmospheric energy, but everyone said I was chasing impossibilities. Asterisk, they lacked vision. Asterisk Echo's mental voice held a trace of amusement. Asterisk sometimes impossible things must be believed before they can be proven asterisk. A warning light flashed on Sarah's console. The containment field was starting to destabilize. She'd been jury reading solutions for hours, but each fix lasted a shorter time than the last. I need to understand how your natural form works if I'm going to maintain this field. What exactly are you? Echo's crystalline structure shifted, creating complex geometric patterns. Me people, the Nexa, exist as energy beings. These crystal formations act as anchor points, allowing us to maintain stable physical forms. Without them, you dissolve into the atmosphere, Sarah finished. Like you were doing at the crash site. But why were you running? Who are these hunters? Before Echo could answer, heavy footsteps echoed from the stairwell. Sarah quickly activated the lab's privacy screens, making the containment field appear as normal atmospheric testing equipment. Dr. Harrison burst in, his face flushed with anger. Dr. Chen, what the hell do you think you're doing? The power draw from this lab is off the charts. Critical atmospheric analysis, sir, Sarah said, trying to keep her voice steady. Last night's storm produced some unprecedented readings. I'm running containment tests too. Enough. Harrison slammed his hand on her desk. I've tolerated your obsession because your previous work was brilliant, but this ends now. The board doesn't meet next week. They met this morning. You're done here, Sarah. Clean out your lab by tomorrow. Sarah felt the blood drain from her face. Sir, please. My research is finally showing results. If you just look at the data. Security will escort you out if you're not gone by morning. Harrison turned and stormed out, leaving Sarah standing in stunned silence. Your help costs you much, Echo observed quietly. Sarah laughed bitterly. They were going to fire me anyway. At least now I'm losing my job over real discoveries instead of supposed delusions. She turned to the crystalline being. But you still haven't told me what you're running from. Echo's light dimmed slightly. The Drachnid Empire. They captured me, studied my people's ability to manipulate energy fields. They seek to weaponize our natural abilities. Weaponize how? By releasing charged Nexa crystal fragments into planetary atmospheres. The fragments destabilize natural weather patterns, creating storms that can tear worlds apart. My escape delayed their plans, but they will not stop hunting me. Sarah's mind raced with the implications. The strange storms she'd been tracking, the impossible energy patterns, they weren't just distress calls. They were test runs. A deep rumble shook the building. Sarah rushed to her monitors. Multiple atmospheric disturbances forming. Energy signatures match your arrival pattern. They found me. Echo's form pulsed with anxiety. The containment field's energy emissions led them here. Then we need to move. Sarah began shutting down non-essential systems. I can rig a portable version of a containment field, but I'll need time. Time is what we lack. Sarah, you must go. The Drachnids will destroy this facility, everyone in it, to reach me. Not happening. Sarah's fingers flew over her equipment, reprogramming power distributions. I've spent my whole career being called crazy for believing in something everyone said was impossible. I'm not going to start doubting myself now that I know I was right. The building shook again, harder this time. Alarms began blaring throughout the station. Sarah could hear panicked voices from above as her colleagues evacuated. Why risk yourself for me? Echo asked. You barely know what I am. Sarah smiled as she finished the portable containment unit's modifications. Because you trusted me to help you when you were dying. And because if what you're saying about these weapons is true, my whole world is in danger. I'm not running from that. She activated the portable unit, carefully transferring Echo's containment field. Besides, I've got nothing left to lose here. Might as well take a shot at saving the world. Your species is remarkably stubborn. Echo observed as Sarah secured the portable unit. You have no idea. Sarah grabbed her research data and emergency supplies. There's a maintenance tunnel that leads to the vehicle bay. If we can reach my all-terrain vehicle. The lab's reinforced door burst inward with a thunderous crash. Through the settling dust, Sarah saw figures in sleek armor, their helmets adorned with swept-back fins that gave them a predatory appearance. Energy weapons hummed to life, targeting arrays locking onto Echo's crystalline form. "Step away from the Nexus specimen," one of the Drachnids commanded in oddly accented English. "This does not concern your species." Sarah placed herself between the hunters and Echo, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "Actually, I think using stolen alien tech to develop atmospheric weapons that could destroy my planet concerns me a lot." She felt Echo's surprise at her defiance. Sarah, don't. Last warning, human. The specimen is Imperial property. Sarah's hand found the emergency control panel behind her back. "Funny thing about studying atmospheric science on a mountain," she said. "You have to be prepared for rapid pressure changes." She slammed the panel. Emergency shutters slammed down as the lab's atmospheric containment protocols engaged. The sudden pressure differential staggered the Drachnid hunters, their armor compensating too slowly. "Run." Sarah grabbed Echo's containment unit and bolted for the maintenance tunnel. Energy bolts sizzled past her head as the hunters recovered, but she had studied this station's layout for years. Every escape route, every backup system. They reached the vehicle bay just ahead of their pursuers. Sarah's all-terrain vehicle roared to life as more explosions rocked the station. Through the bay windows, she could see massive ships descending through the storm-torn sky. "Please tell me you know somewhere safe we can go," Sarah said as they crashed through the security gate. "Because I just burned every bridge I had here." There is a place. Echo's thoughts held a mix of concern and determination. But reaching it will not be easy. Sarah laughed as she drove them into the darkness, energy bolts lighting up the night behind them. "Story of my life lately. At least I'm not crazy anymore." No, Echo agreed. Just a fugitive harboring an escaped alien prisoner while being hunted by an interstellar empire. See, much better than being crazy. As they raced through the mountain roads, Sarah realized she felt more alive than she had in years. She had spent so long trying to prove she wasn't delusional that she'd forgotten what it felt like to simply act on what she knew to be true. Behind them, the storm intensified as Drachnid ships joined the pursuit. But for the first time, Sarah wasn't just observing the impossible. She was living it. And she had no intention of stopping now. Legacy of the Stars, ## Part 4, Breaking Point. The resistance facility was nothing like Sarah had imagined. Hidden beneath an abandoned hydroelectric dam, its corridors hummed with technology far beyond anything she'd seen. Aliens of various species worked at monitoring stations, tracking Drachnid movements across the globe. But right now, none of them looked happy. "Absolutely not," growled Commander Vex, their reptilian security chief. "The human knows too much already. Letting her access our atmospheric defense grid is out of the question." Sarah stood her ground, Echo's containment unit steady in her arms. "Your defenses are based on standard energy manipulation protocols. I've spent years studying similar patterns. I can help optimize them." She speaks truth. Echo's mental voice reached everyone in the command center. Her insights into atmospheric energy distribution already saved my life twice. And her modifications to the containment field are remarkable, added Dr. Lyra, a tall, willowy being who headed their scientific division. Simple but elegant, she understands principles our engineers took decades to master. Vex's scales darkened with frustration. Understanding is not the issue. Security is. We cannot. Alarms screamed through the facility. A technician's voice rang out. Multiple Drachnid signatures detected. They're starting atmospheric injection protocols. "Where?" Vex demanded. "Globally. They're not waiting for a test site. They're targeting the entire planet." Sarah rushed to the nearest console, reading the data with growing horror. The drachnids were releasing charged nexocrystal fragments into the upper atmosphere. Already, impossible storm systems were forming over major population centers. "They're going to tear the atmosphere apart," she whispered. "The fragments will create cascading energy reactions once they reach critical mass. Asterisk, the planet's atmospheric containment will fail. Asterisk echo finished. Asterisk, they mean to destroy Earth to prevent us from exposing their weapons. Program asterisk. How long?" Vex asked, professional mask replacing his earlier hostility. Sarah's fingers flew over the console, running calculations. "Hours, maybe less. The fragments are accelerating the process exponentially." She turned to face the aliens. "But I might know how to stop it." "Explain." Echo's containment field, it's not just holding her energy form together. It's creating a stable resonance pattern that prevents atmospheric interference. If we could replicate that pattern on a global scale— "Impossible," Lyra interjected. "The power requirements alone." "Would be massive," Sarah agreed. "But we don't need to power it ourselves. The storms are generating more than enough energy. We just need to redirect it." Asterisk, like turning an attacker's strength against them, asterisk echo mused. Asterisk, but the calculations would need to be perfect. Any error would accelerate the atmosphere's collapse. Asterisk. Good thing you've got someone who spent their whole career studying exactly this. Sarah pulled up her research data. "My models for atmospheric energy manipulation, they're not just theories anymore. We've proven they work with Echo's containment field. Now we scale up." Vex and Lyra exchanged looks. The facility shook as another storm system formed overhead. "Even if this works," Vex said slowly, "deploying a planetary containment field would require direct interface with the storms. Someone would have to go up there." "I know." Sarah met his gaze steadily. "That's why I'm going." "No." Echo's crystal structure flared with alarm. Asterisk, the energy levels would be lethal to your biology. Asterisk. Not with proper shielding. Sarah turned to Lyra. "Your environmental suits, they can be modified with containment field technology, right?" The alien scientist nodded reluctantly. "Yes, but—" "Then do it. Echo's coming with me to monitor the energy patterns. Together we can establish the resonance field." Asterisk, Sarah. Asterisk, Echo's mental voice was soft. Asterisk, this is not your fight. Asterisk. Like hell it isn't. This is my planet, my people, and if I die trying to save them, at least I'll die proving I wasn't crazy all these years. A new alarm blared. The technician's voice was tight with fear. Drachnid warships entering atmosphere. They're targeting the facility. "How long to modify a suit?" Sarah demanded. 20 minutes, Lyra answered. "Too long," Vex growled. "Those ships will level this place in 10. Sarah looked at Echo, an idea forming. "What if we didn't need a suit? Echo, your crystal structure, it can anchor energy forms, right? Could it anchor me?" Asterisk, you cannot be suggesting, asterisk, a direct merge. My knowledge of atmospheric patterns, your ability to manipulate energy fields. Together we might be strong enough. Asterisk, the process could kill you. Your consciousness might not survive integration with my energy form. Asterisk. Another explosion rocked the facility. Emergency lights flashed as systems began to fail. Better than definitely dying when this place collapses. Sarah held Echo's containment unit closer. "I trust you. Do you trust me?" There was a moment of profound silence despite the chaos around them. Then, asterisk, yes. "I trust you, asterisk." "Director," a technician shouted. "Atmospheric containment failing in multiple sectors. Estimate 15 minutes to critical failure." Sarah looked at Vex. "We need a ship, something that can get us above the storms." The reptilian commander studied her for a long moment, then nodded sharply. "Bay 3, prototype atmospheric runner. It's yours." "Commander." One of his security officers protested. "Regulations mean nothing if we're all dead in 15 minutes. Vex turned to Sarah. Save your world, human. Prove we were right to help you. Sarah was already running. Echo's containment unit clutched tight. They reached the ship as the facility's outer defenses began to fall. The atmospheric runner was sleek, built for exactly this kind of mission. As she strapped in, Sarah's hands were steady despite the fear coursing through her. Ready. Asterisk Sarah, thank you. Whatever happens, knowing you has been remarkable, asterisk. Save the goodbyes for later. She fired up the engines. We've got work to do. The ship rocketed out of the disintegrating facility, climbing towards storms that could rend planets apart. Above them, Drachnid warships turned to give chase. Below, the world Sarah had spent her life studying began to tear itself apart. But for the first time since this all began, she felt completely certain. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't delusional. She was right. And now she was going to prove it. Or die trying. Legacy of the Stars, ## Part 5. The storm rises. The atmospheric runner pierced through layers of roiling clouds, each level more violent than the last. Sarah's instruments showed energy readings that should have torn the ship apart, but the prototype's shielding held, barely. Through the viewscreen, she could see the charged Nexa crystal fragments glowing like malevolent stars, spreading their destructive resonance through Earth's atmosphere. 5 minutes to optimal altitude, Sarah announced, her voice tight with concentration. How's the containment field holding? Asterisk stable, but weakening, asterisk Echo replied. Asterisk the background energy is interfering with the field's coherence, asterisk. A Drachnid warship emerged from the clouds behind them, energy weapons charging. Sarah threw the runner into a spiral, using the storm's violent updrafts to amplify their momentum. The warship's shots went wide, dissipating into the turbulent air. They're not trying to kill us, Sarah realized, checking her readings. They're herding us away from the fragment clusters. Asterisk, they fear what we might accomplish. Fear is their weakness, asterisk. And knowledge is our strength. Sarah's hands flew over the controls, plotting an intercept course with the nearest fragment cluster, ready to do something impossible. Asterisk with you. Always, asterisk. The ship screamed through the stratosphere, diving between two Drachnid vessels as they tried to box them in. Sarah's years of studying atmospheric patterns let her predict where the worst turbulence would hit, using it to shake their pursuers while preserving their own shields. Warning lights flashed across the console. They were approaching the altitude where Sarah's plan would either save the world or kill them both. Echo, she said softly, if this doesn't work, I want you to know that meeting you made everything worth it. All those years of being called crazy, of doubting myself, you proved I was right to believe in the impossible. Sarah, Echo's mental voice was warm with emotion. Asterisk, you proved far more than that. You proved that some beings, no matter their origin, are meant to find each other. To achieve together what neither could alone, asterisk. The runners' hull groaned as they reached their target altitude. The nearest crystal fragment cluster floated just ahead, its deadly resonance already beginning to affect their systems. Together then, Sarah's hand hovered over Echo's containment field controls. Asterisk together, asterisk. Sarah took a deep breath and deactivated the containment field. Echo's energy form immediately began to dissipate, but instead of dispersing into the atmosphere, it flowed towards Sarah. The sensation was indescribable, like being filled with liquid starlight. Asterisk remember, asterisk Echo's thoughts merged with hers. Asterisk your consciousness must remain intact. Focus on the patterns, the science you know so well, asterisk. Sarah's vision blurred as her perception expanded. She could feel the atmosphere around them, not just through instruments but directly, as if it were an extension of her own body. The energy flows that she'd spent years theorizing about were suddenly clear as daylight. And they were beautiful. Through their merged consciousness, Sarah understood why the Nexa was so powerful. They didn't just manipulate energy, They communicated with it, harmonized with it. Her scientific knowledge combined with Echo's natural abilities, creating something entirely new. The fragments, Sarah/Echo spoke aloud, their voices overlapping. They're not just destroying the atmosphere, they're corrupting its natural resonance. Asterisk, then we restore the harmony asterisk. Their shared form began to pulse with energy. Sarah's understanding of atmospheric patterns merged with Echo's ability to influence them. They reached out, not fighting the chaos around them, but working with it, redirecting it, reshaping it. The nearest crystal fragments responded to their call. Instead of spreading destruction, they became anchor points for a new kind of containment field, one built on Sarah's theories and powered by Echo's essence. Drachnid ships opened fire, but their weapons couldn't penetrate the energy field forming around the runner. The storm itself protected them now, responding to their combined will. Through their shared consciousness, Sarah felt Echo's amazement. Asterisk your theories. They're more than science. They're an understanding of the fundamental rhythms of existence asterisk. And your abilities are more than just energy manipulation, Sarah replied. They're a way of joining those rhythms, becoming part of them. Together, they expanded their influence. The corrupted fragments began to pulse in harmony with their field, their destructive resonance transforming into something healing, stabilizing. The patterns spread exponentially, just as the destruction had, but in reverse. Sarah's human mind struggled to maintain cohesion under the strain of their merger. Echo's energy form supported her, keeping her consciousness from fragmenting as they worked. Asterisk hold on, asterisk Echo urged. Asterisk were almost there asterisk. The Drachnid ships launched one final assault, concentrating their fire on the runner. But it was too late. The transformed crystal fragments had created a cascade effect, spreading their stabilizing resonance across the globe. Earth's atmosphere began to heal itself, returning to its natural patterns. Through their shared senses, Sarah and Echo felt the moment the balance shifted, the storms calmed, the deadly resonance faded, the sky itself seemed to sigh with relief. But the effort had taken its toll. Sarah felt her consciousness beginning to fade, overwhelmed by the energy coursing through her. Asterisk Sarah asterisk Echo's panic was clear. Asterisk you must separate now. Your body cannot sustain this connection much longer asterisk. Not yet. Sarah forced herself to focus. Have to? Be sure. Asterisk the planet is safe. The fragments are neutralized. Please, Sarah, I cannot lose you asterisk. The runner's systems were failing around them, its hull barely holding together after the brutal assault. Below, the resistance facility's sensors confirmed what they already knew. The Drachnid weapon had been defeated. Sarah felt herself slipping deeper into the energy merger. It would be so easy to let go, to become one with the patterns she'd studied all her life. Echo's desperate cry anchored her. With the last of her strength, Sarah initiated the separation protocol they prepared. Their shared consciousness began to unravel energy and matter struggling to remember their proper forms. The last thing Sarah saw before darkness took her was the earth below, its atmosphere shimmering with renewed vitality. Not just saved, but transformed by the impossible partnership between a human scientist and an alien energy being. She had been right all along, and now everyone would know it. Horizons united. Sarah woke to the gentle hum of advanced medical equipment and the familiar crystalline glow of Echo's presence. She was in the resistance facility's medical bay, rebuilt after the Drachnid attack. Her body felt strange, lighter somehow, as if she'd been fundamentally changed by her merger with Echo's energy form. Welcome back. Echo's mental voice was warm with relief. You've been unconscious for 3 days. Did we? Sarah's voice was raspy from disuse. Did it work? See for yourself. The medical bay's window shutters opened, revealing a perfect blue sky. No storms, no chaos, no signs of the near apocalypse they'd barely prevented. But Sarah could feel something else, a subtle resonance in the air, a harmony she'd never noticed before. "I can still sense it," she whispered. "The atmospheric patterns. How?" "The merger changed you," Echo explained. "Not just your body, but your fundamental connection to energy fields. You are still human, but more." A door slid open, admitting Commander Vex and Dr. Lyra. The reptilian security chief looked distinctly uncomfortable, while the scientist could barely contain her excitement. "The scans are fascinating," Lyra burst out. "Your cellular structure has been partially crystallized, similar to nexo anchor points. You're literally a bridge between our sciences now." "What she means," Vex growled, "is that you've become living proof of what we've always believed, that different species can achieve more together than apart." He straightened formally. "The Resistance Council has reviewed your actions. They've extended an official invitation for Earth to join our coalition." Sarah sat up carefully, Echo's containment unit floating closer in support. "Join. But most of humanity doesn't even know aliens exist." "They do now." Vex activated a wall screen, showing news footage from around the world. The atmospheric battle had been impossible to hide. Humanity was coming to terms with both the existence of alien life and how close they'd come to annihilation. "Your world's governments are in chaos," Vex continued. "They need somebody who understands both sides. Somebody who can prove that cooperation between species isn't just possible, it's essential." "They need you," Echo added. "We need you." Sarah looked at her hands, seeing the faint crystalline shimmer beneath her skin. "What exactly are you asking?" "Become our ambassador," Lyra said eagerly. "Help us establish formal contact with Earth. Your experience, your transformation, you can bridge more than just scientific principles." "And the Drachnids?" Sarah asked. "Their weapon failed, but they're still out there." Vex's expression darkened. "They've retreated to their core systems. Your display of power, transforming their weapon into a planetary defense system, shook them. But they'll be back with new weapons and new tactics. Then we'll be ready." Sarah swung her legs off the bed, standing with Echo's help. "But we do it right this time. No more hiding in shadows, no more secret facilities. Earth needs to understand what it's facing and what it can become." She walked to the window, feeling the subtle pulse of the transformed Nexa crystals high in the atmosphere. They were no longer weapons, but guardians maintaining the very harmony they had been meant to destroy. "I spent years being called crazy for believing in something everyone said was impossible," Sarah said softly. "Now I have the chance to help humanity face an even bigger impossible thing. The reality that we're not alone, and that our future depends on learning to work together with beings very different from ourselves." "Some would say that is the craziest thing yet," Echo observed, amusement coloring their mental link. Sarah smiled. "Maybe. But we've already proven that the craziest ideas are sometimes the most important ones." She turned to face the others. "I'll do it. But on one condition, Echo stays with me as co-ambassador. We do this like we did everything else. Together." "Always," Echo agreed immediately. Vex and Lyra exchanged looks. The commander shrugged. The council anticipated this. They've already approved a joint appointment. "Then let's get started." Sarah's voice was firm with purpose. "We've got a lot of work to do." In the days that followed, Sarah and Echo began the delicate process of introducing humanity to its new reality. There were challenges, of course, fear, denial, resistance to change. But there was also hope, curiosity, and a growing understanding that the universe was far more wonderful and complex than anyone had imagined. The transformed crystals in Earth's atmosphere became a symbol of this new era, a reminder that even the darkest weapons could be turned to light, that enemies could become allies, that different species could achieve miraculous things together. And late at night, when the world grew quiet, Sarah would stand under the stars with Echo's crystalline form glowing beside her. Together, they would watch the subtle dance of atmospheric energies, feeling the pulse of possibility in every breath of air. "Still think I'm crazy?" Sarah would sometimes ask, smiling at their private joke. Absolutely, Echo would reply, but it's the kind of crazy that changes worlds. Looking up at the endless horizon that had once seemed like a boundary, but now felt like an invitation, Sarah couldn't help but agree. Sometimes the craziest thing you could do was believe, in yourself, in others, in the possibility of something more. She had believed in impossible things, and the impossible had believed in her right back.